All right, first we're gonna scoop out the near side arm. Quick review of how to get him from here to there. Okay. So chest to chest, here, here. Okay, so I'm either gonna use my left leg, my right leg, or my hip. Okay, so left leg, this one. Okay, so you kind of walk your legs down here, and then you kind of use your knee to scrape. He's gonna scrape right along the inside of his rib cage, and then you'll be here like that. Okay, typically that's the first one. Okay, so sometimes you can use your lower a little further down towards your knee, and sometimes it's about mid thigh, but it's like here and then scraping it up like that. Yeah. Number two is this leg over here. Okay, on this one, okay, you'll put your knee right about where his rib cage is. Okay, your knee, okay, like this. Your butt kind of in the air like this. Okay, typically you'll have a good cross face like this. You'll have shoulder pressure. Okay, hip in the air, and then you'll touch your knee to his rib cage, and then you'll swipe along his body like this. Okay, once right knee pushes up, then the left leg is going to come right behind it, like that. Okay, pressure, butt in the air. Make this knee find his torso, and then swipe it. You'll find his elbow first. There's his elbow. Okay, and then kind of maintain all the shoulder pressure as your knee swipes up like that. And this guy comes right behind it and takes his place. Okay, that's number two. And number three is your hip. Okay, side control. So when you have a hip, okay, you're gonna do this. Okay, so this one, typically you'll maintain control with this one, and if you want, you can do this. Either one. You do this. So here, hips are gonna go flat. You'll tilt your hip a little bit so your front is facing his legs. Okay, and then you'll walk towards his legs like this. I'm kind of exaggerating, but this is what you want to create. Okay? Sometimes you need this hand over here to help guide his knees this way like this. Okay, my intention is to put the bone of my left hip right against Artem's side right there. Okay, so the bony part of your pelvis goes right there. Okay, and you're just gonna back up. Back up. Okay? And your hip bone is like a scraper. Okay, it's like an ice scraper on a windshield. Okay? And then you're there. Okay? Last one. Chest to chest. Feel a bit like this. Yeah, like here. So I'm still maintaining a lot of shoulder pressure. It's helping guide his knees over as you walk towards his legs. Walk towards his legs. Okay? And then scrape away. Okay? And the reason we turn him over here like this is because he kind of puts his elbow right in the position where we want, where the hip bone's gonna like wedge right under like that. Okay? Okay? And if for whatever reason you do any of these moves, okay, on this arm, and it doesn't move, typically it's because he has his arm like a little higher up on his body, like this. Okay, and if it's higher up on his body, typically you can counter that by kind of getting behind it like that. Okay, so whenever it's here, if he has a flat body, okay, flat torso, and the arm is tucked, you counter him with those. Okay, so near knee, the far knee, or the hip. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. If I had to choose my preferred, my favorite is the hip. Okay. Here. Make a nice cross face like that. Okay, so when we have this, a lot of things open up. Number one is he loses his ability to creating a wedge effect with his near side arm, so his escapes are tougher, more difficult. Okay, and then we can do more attacks. Okay, number one is just transitioning the mount, you're giving a lot of cross face pressure. Maybe your head is actually on the mat, and your knee is somewhere, rib cage to hip. Okay, rib cage to hip. Maybe hand out like this. Okay, having a nice high mount. Okay, we're gonna bypass that. Okay, so the next one would be a step over triangle. Step over triangle looks like this. Okay, so here I'm gonna do that same position where I put my knee right on my partner's rib cage. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the position of this arm. Okay, it may be tucked like Artem has here. it may actually be pushing. Sometimes you just kind of put it there to see what his arm does. Okay? All right. So if it's there, you can always go back to the old scoop, cross-leg unhook. But whenever his hand is there, anywhere in here, whether it's tucked or here, okay, we're gonna pin it to his body like this. So pin, okay, and we're gonna posture. Okay. So as my shoulders elevated, my hand, his neck goes from my elbow to my hand. Okay, and then you're gonna go shift your weight to the knee, and then. Okay, so you're only unbalanced for a moment. Okay? So here, lean, and then I like to post my hand down just for base. Okay. Here, once you're here, you're gonna scoop his head, and then you're gonna post. You're gonna have your weight on this leg and this hand. Okay, so you can maneuver around your partner's neck. So we're gonna lock it up first. So here, and then here. Okay, so I want you to put this knee on the mat, and you're gonna go like this, and you're gonna kick both feet into the air like this. So like that. So and you put yourself back there. Okay. And from here, if you have this, just a general squeeze will do it. Sorry. Or you can arm bar from here. You can do like a Americana chicken wing. Or yeah. And if he's too broad or your legs are too short, you can always concede to the bottom by putting your shoulder on the mat, and then finishing. Here, I'm going to use my far knee. Scoop it up. Knee. Here. Pin to chest. Pin. Posture. Okay. Posture. So, put his neck, but then your knee. Here, head down. That makes it easier. It's actually a lot. Okay. Other options. When you're here, you don't always have to tuck your full lower leg underneath his neck like that. Okay. You can kind of keep this orientation like this, where your foot stays like this. Okay. And if you're here, you could potentially arm bar like that. Okay. You don't even have to put this leg in front of his face. You can just kind of here, or you could go there. Okay. Thirdly, if I want to sit to my butt, you can always sit like this. Sometimes he can sit up, so you do have to pinch. Or some people even like to do this one. You put this leg there, so this leg creates like a wedge or something to keep his head in place. And you can finish like this, okay? Covering his head. And if Artem somehow finds a way to sit up, then you can kind of put something in front of his face. Now, if this ever slips in front of your armpit, then you can finish like that. Okay? So, scoop up, knee, pin. Posture over. Okay, let's do the last one. So, finishing here like this, like that. Okay, so any version of those, but try to do the full step over and actually lock it. Okay, that's actually best. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Actually, scoop up his near side arm. Here. Okay, and then we're gonna be here. All right, on this one, I'm gonna sit to my butt on this side. It's gonna look something like this. So I'm still gonna pin just like the last one. Watch it. I'm gonna sit to my butt like this, okay? And take my weight off of Artem. Okay? My intention is to bait him to sit up. Okay? We'll have Artem sit up. Yeah, perfect, like this. So as long as this is pinned, Artem is instinctively sitting up, okay? You have to throw this leg open and he'll come right in the triangle. Okay, and then he'll lock, ding, lock, ding, lock. Yeah. Okay? Here, your knee trap. And your foot here, make sure you point it and you're gonna tuck it right along his body and then sit like this. Here, just take all the weight off and you have to fan this leg all the way out. So no matter how he comes up, he's always gonna end up in the triangle. Shin, scoop, here. And Kenny, can I do one again? Here. Here. Like this. Okay? So there's a clear path for him to sit. There's nothing impeding his ability to sit up. Okay? Then here. Open all the way up and then there he goes. Okay? And one thing to keep in mind is if it feels, for the top person, if it ever feels like you just don't have a lot of control over this hand, okay? What I do, I do prefer to do just like this, just grabbing the hand and sitting and pinning, either for this one or the one we just did. But another way that it's taught is utilizing this lapel, okay? Using the lapel and then kind of wrapping, doing this wrap effect like that, okay? And doing either the one we did previously, like step over, or the one we just did, okay, like this. Sitting and then letting him come up, and his arm is strapped in the same way. Okay, so you can do that if you want, okay? All right, but if you can achieve it just with pinning with your hand, that's one simple. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna set that attack series aside, and we're gonna go over whenever you utilize this position here, like this here, and you have this back. Okay, so this typically you would always set up from half guard. Okay? If you're in a half guard, typically this is the best time to set it up where you're utilizing it here. Okay, like this. Okay, okay, this probably could have been shown in the half guard passive. Okay, but so when we have this, there's a ton of attacks we can do, and typically, if you remember them, typically they end up starting from here. Okay, where there's a cross choke here, and then there's one that's called Bravo. It's here like this. Okay, okay, that's just two. Okay, and then there's one that we can use from side control. Okay, so we utilize this. Okay, gotten this lapel, so it's like there and then there. Okay, and then we're putting a lot of pressure, and then we're doing any number of ways to extract our foot. Okay, I'm going to use this one here like this, and I'm just doing a cut through and kicking here. Okay, so this position here. Okay, we're going to do the step over / Canto choke. I just call it step over. Okay, so here, so like this. So if Artem instinctively kind of just turns a little bit, okay, we don't need him to turn, but it does make the choke more effective. Okay, just if he sits up. Okay, we're here like this, and this one's gonna come over like that. Okay. Come over like that, and then your chest is gonna face this way, like this. Okay. Typically, you want your entire lower leg underneath, here like this. Okay, and your wrist is gonna cast a fishing pole. So it just passed. I was coming up a step here, and then turning. Okay, and then extending my leg so my hamstrings right up against his neck. Okay, and then casting more like that. Okay, so pressure. I'm just gonna do this with my wrist. Let's see. Pretty strong arm. Okay. Okay. So, it's one really good tool using the lapel. This same choke does work if you just have collar, but it's maybe, I'd say at least 20% less effective, it feels like. All right, let's see. If you have a really good grip, it works good too. Okay, but lapel, you can experiment with your partner. Okay? Whenever you're passing, if you're passing a flattened half guard, remember this is a very good tool to use. Here we go again. So get your grip number 1. You can do any number of passes that you want, and here. Okay. Okay, and remember, while we're at it, you can just lightly go through this one. Okay, you can go. That's the cross choke. This is the one, the Bravo. Okay. Remember that if you do these two, there is a grip switch of this one. If you do the step over, it's this one. Okay. Remember, leg through and then turning like that. Okay. Just a quick review of those. Focus on the step over. Okay, 1, 2, 3.